Hey you guys, welcome back to our channel. Today is another Bible study with us. In today's Bible study, we're going to be finishing off the Samson and Delilah study that we started last week. If you're interested in the beginning of that, you can go back on our channel and watch last week's video. Other than that, today we're going to start in Judges chapter 16, verse 13, and we're going to read the rest of the Samson and Delilah story, which is through verse 22. So if you haven't been with us for one of these studies, what we're doing is we're going back and restudying like the typical childhood Bible stories so that we can learn more about them and see if there's anything that we possibly missed out on when we were children that we need to know about these stories.
I'm going to start reading in verse 13. Then Delilah said to Samson, "Until now you have mocked me and told me lies. Tell me how you might be bound." And he said to her, "If you weave the 7 locks of my head with the web and fasten it tight with the pin, then I shall become weak and be like any other man." So while he slept, Delilah took the 7 locks of his head and wove them into the web. And she made them tight with the pin, and said to him, "The Philistines are upon you, Samson." But he awoke from his sleep and pulled away the pin and the loom and the web.
Last week we read the beginning of the story. Samson has made a name for himself in his strength ability. Now the Philistines are trying to figure out how to overthrow him, or whatever they need to do to eliminate the threat of Samson. Samson fell for Delilah. In the kids' story, it says that they got married, but I didn't see that anywhere in here, did you? It just said that they were together. It says he loved a woman.
Yeah.
Anyways, so then he doesn't know, but Delilah is working for the Philistines for pieces of silver, and they are having her figure out what his weakness is so that they can remove his strength.
So she went to Samson asking him how she could overthrow his strength. And Samson's been telling her ways to do this, but really he's just giving her false information.
Yeah, every time that he's told her do this and I'll be as weak as any other man, it's not been
He's ended up breaking out.
Yeah. So yeah, he's basically just fooling her to fool them. And now she's asking him again and saying, "All right, you're mocking me. You're just making a joke of this. Tell me truly how you might be bound."
So Samson tells her to weave his 7 locks of hair and make them tight with a pin. And whenever he woke up, he pulled the pin away. So he got out of that too.
So she let him fall, like he went to sleep that night.
Yeah, and she...
like that.
She did it while he was asleep.
So while he's sleeping, she says, "Samson!" Again, "The Philistines are after you." And then he wakes up. I guess he's bolting into action. And while he's bolting into action, pulled away the pin, the loom, and the web.
Yep.
What is that? I don't even understand. What is the pin, the loom, and the web? It says, the made tight with a pin translates the same Hebrew phrase that was used when Jael drove a tent peg into Sisera's head. The exact scenario here is unclear, but Samson obviously had no trouble escaping once more.
The commentary says that Samson was kind of naive and not suspecting to be in any danger around Delilah.
Or suspecting that she's doing anything bad.
Yeah. But how could he not be,
he's so love-struck.
I mean.
But still,
Samson,
I'm
open your eyes, bud.
Yeah, I'm like, how even? Maybe he just thinks that she wants to see his strength. Maybe she likes that or something. I don't know. 15 through 17 say, "And she said to him, 'How can you say I love you when your heart is not with me? You have mocked me these 3 times, and you have not told me where your great strength lies.' And when she pressed him hard with her words day after day and urged him, his soul was vexed to death. And he told her all his heart, and said to her, 'A razor has never come upon my head, for I have been a Nazarite to God from my mother's womb. If my head is shaved, then my strength will leave me, and I shall become weak and be like any other man.'"
So he is love-struck. He's like totally naive to everything. Doesn't even...
Oh, hey, the commentary on this says that it's his wife. It says Samson's wife. But it doesn't say they got married.
No. Samson was, remember it said earlier, like in Samson's marriage. So he had married and he had kids with her.
Okay.
Well, then apparently he fell in love with Delilah later on.
Delilah did precisely what Samson's wife had done earlier. Oh, so apparently his first wife had tried to take advantage of him too.
And he didn't learn from his mistakes.
Samson's weak character shows through once again. He did not learn from his previous mistakes, but yielded in both cases. He's got a woman weakness. What can we say?
Samson, wake up.
Says he tells her his heart, so he breaks down and says, okay, whatever I have to do for your love.
And that is, she chops off his hair. Verses 18 through 21 say, when Delilah saw that he had told her all his heart, she sent and called the lords of the Philistines, saying, come up again, for he has told me all his heart. Then the lords of the Philistines came up to her and brought the money in their hands. She made him sleep on her knees, and she called a man and had him shave off the 7 locks of his head. And then she began to torment him, and his strength left him. And she said, the Philistines are upon you, Samson. And he awoke from his sleep and said, I will go out as at any other time and shake myself free. But he did not know that the Lord had left him. And the Philistines seized him and gouged out his eyes and brought him down to Gaza and bound him with bronze shackles. And he ground at the mill in the prison. But the hair of his head began to grow again after it had been shaved.
She had him sleep on her legs, and then she called a man to come and shave his head off.
His 7 locks.
He didn't know that his strength had left him.
No,
says,
because
and he
said
woke
he
up from
tried
his
to break.
sleep. Yeah, and he said, I will go out as at other times and shake myself free, but he did not know that the Lord had left him. What does that mean? He ground at the mill. The practice of binding an enemy and then forcing him to grind grain at the mill. Oh, so they put him to work. Gotcha.
I thought they ground him up.
I know, I was like, what in the world? Philistines may have adopted this practice from the Hittites. So they gouged his eyes out and then forced him to grind grain. I thought that was way more brutal than what it was. I mean, it is brutal that they that they gouged his eyes out.
I guess it could probably be brutal because he doesn't have any eyes, so could he really see what he was grinding? I'm still stuck on how he only had 7 locks of hair. He must have had some really thin hair.
Well, no, they were probably just like bigger chunks, like
huge locks.
I just imagine like big chunks of like
matted up
hair. Yeah.
Ugh. Reminds me of my teenage years.
Calling out herself.
Hey, my hair was super long and I didn't want to brush it.
That's funny. Then at the end it says, but the hair of his head began to grow again after it had been shaved. So.
And the commentary says that there wasn't any magical power in Samson's hair. It was the strength from the Lord. But the growth of his hair after after it had been cut off indicates that God was renewing his previous power.
It also says that Samson may have also begun to renew his faith. What do you learn from this story? Not to be drawn in by temptations from the devil. Like, it doesn't just have to be women or men if you're a girl. Like, we lust after things and like material stuff all the time, and it just takes over.
Maybe the point is to get you to think about how Samson went through all this stuff and didn't realize anything was happening, so we can go through life and not realize that all this stuff in our life is taking over our life. And then whenever the major event happens where she gets his hair cut off, that's whenever it hit him. He's like, oh, I've just let all this go by and not realize what was going on.
Yeah, it's like how sin seeps in little at a time until it's this bigger sin, and you're like, holy cow, how did I get there? Yep. All right, so that is it for this Bible study. We hope you guys enjoyed learning about Samson and Delilah with us, and next week we will be on to a new childhood Bible story. We also post videos on Wednesdays and Fridays. Wednesdays are weird Bible words, and Fridays we do fun videos, so it could be like anything that we're interested in: makeup, fashion, DIY, food, crafty stuff. You never know.
So before we leave you guys, if you like funny stuff and you like music, go on YouTube and watch the Hey There Delilah parody by Tim Hawkins. It is hilarious, and it is about Samson and Delilah. So I recommend that because I
You'll
love
enjoy it.
Anyways, guys, that is all, and we hope you guys really enjoy these stories because I think we really enjoy these stories. So if you guys do like our videos, you can like and subscribe to our channel, and if you want to be notified when we upload, hit the little bell after you subscribe.
Other than that, we hope you guys have a good day, have a good week, and we will see you in the next one. Don't forget to shine.
Bye!